You want to start playing darts, but don't know what you have to pay attention to? No problem. In today's video, we'll give you all the information you need about equipment, technique, and some basic rules so that you can start playing the best sport in the world as quickly as possible. As we assume that you are an absolute beginner and want to get to know the sport first, we have made sure that you have to spend as little money as possible to be able to play at home. Let us start by saying that we can only congratulate you on your interest in this incredibly great sport and on wanting to get started. Enough talk, let's get started. Part 1. The equipment. Here we come to the first big advantage of darts. You need relatively few pieces of equipment to get started. You can get a decent tournament quality board for around 30 pounds, euros, or dollars. This is also roughly the price of the darts, which you will of course also need. When buying your first darts, make sure that you like the look and feel of them so that you enjoy holding them. Ideally, they should consist mainly of tungsten. But this is not a must. It's best to go to a dart store near you and test them out directly on location. If you don't have the opportunity, we have linked to boards and darts in the video description that we think are perfect for beginners. If you can now find a bright spot in your home with a distance of 2.37 meters to the wall and some freedom of movement, you can theoretically get started. If it is important to you that the wall on which you hang the board remains as intact as possible, then we recommend a surround ring to minimize the risk of holes in the wall. Make sure that you place your dartboard at the specified standard height and make a mark on the floor so that you always throw from a distance of 1.73 meters. Of course, there is various equipment, such as light rings or carpets with distance markings, which you can buy as an option, but in theory, this is enough to turn you into a professional player. Part 2. The technique. You've now set up your equipment and are ready to play, but don't know exactly how to throw? Don't worry, you already have most of the skills. If you've watched darts on TV, you'll have noticed that every player has their own throwing technique, and so you'll develop your own technique too. Pay attention to a few basic techniques. For example, that the leg of your throwing arm should always be your supporting leg, on which your body weight then rests. Turn your body a little so that the shoulder of the throwing arm is slightly more aligned with the board than the other. Another tip is that you should try to move only your arm. The less your body moves, the more accurately your darts will fly. At the beginning, however, think less about your grip and throwing technique and throw the arrows in a way that feels natural to you. Take a look at various techniques from the pros and try out whether you can integrate one or two details into your throw. We have throwing analyses from various top players on our channel, which you are welcome to watch. However, don't try to copy a technique. Only do what feels natural and comfortable for you. Part 3. The rules. You will only really enjoy the game when you know the rules. Darts legend Raymond van Barneveld once said, "I've been playing darts for 23 years and I still don't understand the game." Fortunately, this quote was more about the mental complexity of the sport. The game itself is actually very easy to understand. The outer segments of the board count double, the inner rings triple. All other segments between the rings count single. The red bullseye is worth 50 points, and the green ring around the bullseye is worth 25 points. You start with 501 points and try to bring them to 0 with as few darts as possible. The classic variant is to end the game with a throw on a double field. In other words, if you have 40 points remaining, you have to hit the double 20 to win the leg. As it can be frustrating at the beginning to simply not hit this small field, people like to switch to single out, and that's about it. These are the most important rules. Of course, there are different variations with specific rules, but you will get to know these over time. The best way to avoid simply throwing on the board without a target is to look for training games for beginners. You can find countless variations on the internet. Choose the ones that are fun and challenging, but not so difficult that they frustrate you. That was Darts Decoded, how to start playing darts. One last tip from us. Play with others as much as possible. Practice with friends under competitive conditions, for example. This is twice as much fun and has the best effect as you learn to play against real opponents right from the start. We hope you enjoyed the video and that it helped you get started with the best sport in the world. We would be very happy if you subscribe to our channel and activate the bell. In return, you will regularly receive new videos with high-quality darts content. And now we wish you lots of fun on your journey to becoming a top darts player and see you next time. Watch, learn, and win.